Hello. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I appreciate you. I really understand the importance of time and I value yours. So, for that, I will not take much of it. I'm going to jump right in, start talking about retirement. I am retiring from early retirement from a job that I've been there for 28 years. Absolutely love the company. And when I say that, not just I guess I am a company man. Actually, you know what? I'm going to own that. I am. I'm a company man. Love the company, has taken care of me, afforded me a comfortable lifestyle to be able to take care of my family and myself. And for that, I am absolutely grateful. They just recently offered a package that allowed me to retire early, right? And when I say retire early, I mean I'm not done. I am going to continue working. Retiring from this, I just am using this as an opportunity for me to move into something else. And the crazy part is with my personality, uh, I would I would normally never take a something like this, like a package, before I had something else in place, right? And you don't know me, right? But if you did know me, you will be just as surprised as I am about it right now, because just it's just something I wouldn't do. Also, if you knew me, you know that I actually thought about this for the entire time that they gave us for the decision. I used every bit of that time, and I needed to, right? So I did spreadsheets. I did more than pros and cons. Benefits of staying, benefits of going. Uh, if I stayed, this would absolutely have to change for me, and if I went, this would absolutely have to happen within this period of time, within reason. And when I say that, it's because we truly don't have 100% control over what happens because you never know. But I had my game plan in that sense, right? So scared out of my mind. You're like scared because again, I don't make decisions without without really having a full plan in place. But ultimately, after looking at it, right, and if again you'll see from this, and if you saw my other video talking about making mental health easy, this is exactly what I mean, and I'll link that if you haven't seen it. But that's all included, right? Like I had to be, in my opinion, mentally fit for me to make this decision. I also had to be um, comfortable in a space financially for me to do that as well, and that's another situation. And some people feel like you need to be, um, you know, extremely wealthy to even think about doing that. And I personally have a different opinion on that. I don't think that's the case. Um, but it's different for everyone, right? Everyone has different needs, everyone has different wants. So all of that stuff is just different. But with that being said, my biggest concern was making sure I was going to be able to support the family, right? Still. And how do I do that if if I'm not in the right space mentally and financially? So what I want to make sure you guys are able to do is just evaluate that. And I think this is the biggest, no, it's not the biggest piece, but it's one of the biggest things. I would constantly, even though I absolutely consider myself a company man because I was all about being um, a advocate for my job, and I would still recommend anyone, you know, working at this company. I would also, I really did enjoy the environment. I enjoyed the people I worked with. That that helps a lot. you know, I enjoyed my job. I enjoyed it more because of the individuals that I worked with, and um, I knew a lot of people there, and the amount doesn't make the difference. It was the quality of individuals that made the difference. When you build those relationships, whether it be work relationships or whatever the case may be, it makes a difference on you being able to wake up and go to work and know that you have people that's willing to support you. That just makes life that much easier. And I'll talk about that when we talk about even relationships, right? Whether it's romantic or if it's a family or friend, when you know you have support, then whatever you're going through makes makes it a lot easier because you know you have support. Even if you feel like you don't need to lean on them, you know you have them. So it makes a difference, and that's all it was for me for work. Definitely, though, I'm looking at it. I feel like I'm in the last quarter of my life, and it's not morbid. It's just true. If we look at uh, statistics and ages, and so with that being said, what do I do? Do I continue doing something that I absolutely enjoy, um, or do I step out of because I was comfortable, right? And I was comfortable in the job. I was fine doing what I was doing. Um, or do I step out and push myself? Like I always do my best to continue to grow no matter what. Like, so I'm always doing something different, whether it be a new hobby or um, whatever I have in place now with maybe my health goals, just kind of pushing myself. But I do that just because I enjoy moving. I'm grateful for being able to do the things that I can do. Right. So when I practice that gratitude makes a huge difference. When I'm able to say if I feel like just going outside and taking in fresh air and taking a walk, I'm grateful for that because not everyone has that. Not everyone's able to do that. And some people just, right. Um, and, and it's no shade to them. Right. It's just that they don't understand that being able to do some of those things is someone would do a number of things just to be in that space and trade spaces with them. So because of that, I hear it, I know it. So I breathe it and I take advantage of that. What's wild for me is that I really don't know what's next. Like I legit don't know what's next. But what I do know is that I'm mentally fit for whatever is coming my way. Um, that makes all the difference in the world. It's almost like if we're, I don't know, going for a hike, right? And you don't know, it's the first hike ever, you don't really know the length of the trail, whatever the case may be. It might be a challenge, you've heard about it, but you still don't know the exact miles. If you're physically fit, even though you don't have that information, you're probably going to get through that walk, right? That's how I feel right now. I feel like I don't know what's ahead for me, but I do know that I'm mentally fit to the space where even with those challenges that might come my way, I'm going to be able to get through it. So, this is exactly why I'm bringing up how mental fitness plays a role in every portion of our lives, right? I feel like people need to hear it. As simple as it is, when I said making mental health simple or easy, um, making these decisions, this decision was tough for me. I'm not even going to sit here and say it wasn't. It was absolutely tough for me. But the ultimate piece was knowing that I'd be able to endure whatever comes my way. Amongst a number of other things that I had to think of, I had to make sure that I was mentally fit for it, and I am. So I want everyone to be able to do the same thing and reevaluating. So bringing this reevaluation up, being that company man that I mentioned, um, doesn't mean I shouldn't reevaluate where I stand in the company, right? Or anywhere in a relationship and anywhere we should constantly be reevaluating where we stand, right? Because how else do you assess, am I okay being in the space that I'm in? Or maybe I should do this because it's needed. Or I want to grow, so maybe I should try this, right? We should do that on a regular basis. A lot of people wait until they're unhappy in a situation before they start to reassess and figure out what to do, which makes it even more of a challenge in the first place, right? So why not think about that stuff when you're in a good space? And I know it's easier said than done because people are like, well, when you're happy, why think about? Okay, I got you. At the same token, being prepared makes all the difference in the world. If you're putting away a couple bucks a month, you're putting away $20 a month, right? Is it easier to deal with something that comes up after a year that you didn't expect? Is it easier to just come up with that money from scratch and you didn't put away for it? Because everything was good. You didn't have any problems with whatever the thing was, right? It was no issues. But if you put that $20 away, you think it's small, right? $20 away. Keep putting that away for a year, maybe 2 years, nothing happens. What's easier? Having that money that's been sitting there that you've been preparing for, or starting from scratch and just saying, where am I? Let me take this out of, you know, here, or this next check, or you don't have to worry about it because you were prepared, right? I think it makes a difference. So thinking on the smaller level of things makes life a lot easier when we are. It's like taking bite-sized pieces of things instead of trying to take in the whole meal at once. I think that's the best thing for us, to kind of work on and put us into a space where we don't feel like we're rushed, or we have to make a decision about something immediately and we just don't have the understanding of where to start, because then it's overwhelming, and when it's overwhelming then we end up doing what? Nothing. Like, I feel like when you feel overwhelmed, a lot of people shut down, including myself. If I feel like I'm overwhelmed at some point, um, I can get overwhelmed to the point where I don't want to move. It's like being paralyzed. But I get through that and I change it. It doesn't happen often, but I'm human like anyone else. So when that does happen, I use um, the tools that I have to try to push through that stuff. So at the time of this video, I still haven't officially. I'm in the process of retiring early, so it's definitely it's definitely scary. Like I mentioned, um, it feels extremely scary on one end, and then it feels amazing on the other end for so many reasons. The fact that I'm able to, the fact that, I mean, you see the white beard, right? But outside of that, I'm fairly, and I like my white beard, but outside of of that, like, I'm still physically able to do many other things. So, including work another full time if that's my choice, right? I'm grateful for that. But that's by, I mean, I'm putting work in for that. Like, I want to be in a good space. So I can't be in a good space if I don't put the work in. And mentally, we can't be in a good space if we don't put the work in. It's okay. um, when you start hearing negative things, and when I say negative things, I mean things that you physically, even if you, it may not even seem as negative, but if you get a certain feeling from what someone may say to you, or if you get you find yourself kind of staying away from certain individuals because you can't really put a pinpoint on why, but it kind of shifts your mood a little bit. That's all negative, and your body is trying to protect yourself, trying to protect you. So you listen to it. um, and a lot of times, some people don't even mean to do it. They do it just because it's the environment they've been in for however long, and that's what they know. Or when you tell them something that you're working on or you're doing and they immediately want to shoot it down, a lot of it is because they don't realize, or they maybe they do, is something that they can't do. They're telling you about their insecurities and what they can't do, not that you can't. So in their mind, they're outwardly saying, "Nah, I wouldn't do that because of this," or "You shouldn't do that because of this." But what they're really saying is, "I can't believe you're going to do that. I know that I cannot." Right? Even though they could, they're just not putting the energy and the effort in. So we got to think about that stuff. So I did not really get that. I mean, I got people that were concerned, but a lot of the people that I spoke with too, they know me, so they felt comfortable that if I was making this decision, I was making it from a space of, it wasn't just a fly by night decision, because again, if they know me, they understand my thought process with a lot of things. I did kind of go outside of my normal, and I asked a large amount of people for just their thoughts on this, and that's not normally how I do things. A lot of times I'll process something, I'll work through it, get my own answer, and a lot of that has to do with because I don't want the negative energy that I was telling you about. I don't need that, right? And um, I like to work through it, get my decision, and then lock that in. And once I do, then I'm open to talking about it afterwards because I've already made my decision and this is where I'm moving forward. But this was different. This is something, again, after 28 years of working at this one particular job. um, I felt that I should take as many, um, I don't want to just say suggestions, but just take the opinions of many, just so and if you saw my other video on making mental health easy, I think I mentioned that in there. So you can learn from everyone. You literally can learn from everyone, even people that you are not connected with, people you just don't understand, people you may not care for, whatever the case may be. You can learn from everyone, right? So I took in as much information as I could from a number of people, and a lot of it was not negative. It was just their thoughts, and again, it could be their fears of thinking, "What, I couldn't do this." But that was extremely helpful for me, because when I heard people say things like, "Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that because of this," then I processed that, like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm able to because I was able to do this. This is, right. So like when I hear that one thing, then it makes me think, well, that's a really good point. Is that something that's going to be a challenge for me? So I took a lot of information, and I'm happy I did that. It really made a difference. And again, that's not my normal process, but I'm happy I did that with this, and it definitely helped. So wrapping up soon. Not only am I wrapping up with this video, but I am wrapping up with this chapter of my life. And I wish it was something else I could say. A lot of people say that, right? This chapter of my life, but I don't have anything else cooler to say. So I am wrapping up with this chapter of my life and looking to move into something else. But I'm really looking for something that has purpose for me, right? And I don't know what that looks like. That noise was. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I think overall, my biggest thing is it doesn't have to be. And I don't get me wrong. I can always use money, right? But I'm going to choose peace over pay. So if I'm at a space where I have uh, peace and I have purpose, then that's the way I want to live the last quarter of my life, um, through peace and purpose. Again, I don't know what that looks like. So stay on the journey with me. Hopefully, you'll be able to see that journey and see how it turns out. Appreciate you stopping in. Thank you for taking the time. Again, I value yours. So, as I mentioned, I wasn't going to take much of it. If you've been here this whole time with me, I appreciate you. Um, stay connected. I got more for you. So take care and we will connect soon.